so stellar. They say everything is about documentation.
Yes.
And if it's not documented, it never happened. What are these documents that we must keep during redundancy to ensure that if we have to prove that we actually follow the process, this was it, for how long, what should we do, and for how long should we retain the documents?
You are absolutely right. Because you have to remember that even when you do the right thing as HR or as an employer, it does not stop an employee from taking you to court.
Sure.
So you must also think that if this process is tested, it's just not about your intention, but your intention must be read from the documents. So documentation must be a part of the process. It is not done subsequent, it is done as and when. If you're issuing a notice, it's not a notice by word of mouth. It must be a notice that is issued to the employee and they receive it.
Yeah.
And also the labor officer
Receives it.
receives it and stamps it. You cannot say, Your Honor, or my Lord, I promise we did it, we issued it.
Yeah.
If there was consultation, take minutes. Make sure that they are minuted. People who are present, as they entered into the consultation room, assuming it's a boardroom, as they get in, they sign. Because you may find it difficult to get their signatures as they're leaving. So as they get in, they sign. Make sure minutes are taken. If you're offering psychosocial support, demonstrate that by showing that, you know, there's we offered psychosocial support, however you want to document it, and that it is actually two-way. If the document or minutes just show that it was the CEO talking, and then after that he left, that's a speech. That's not
monologue.
consultation. So the point here is understanding that you will not stop an employee from going to court. The court will test fairness, substance, procedure based on your documents, retain them. And because in the court of law, particularly with the Employment Act, the limitation period is 3 years. Employers, HR, retain those. Actually, well, our laws say 7 years, even for tax purposes, 7 years. But at the very minimum, understand that an employee has the right to take you to court for a time limitation of 3 years.
Yes.
So that should be the minimum.
Sometimes I see gaps. I see gaps even in how sometimes you're giving someone a notice, it is less than a month. Maybe you did the communication in a meeting and then the letter did not go out immediately or something. Just things that I see. So you find that you gave notice maybe verbally on 2nd of February. We are now around 7th or 10th of February, but now you want to backdate the letter. The employee will have a problem with that. If they go to court, they will be told you give less than the required notice. Yeah. I also see people giving letters, they do not give the section whereby the employee should actually sign. They are not accepting, they're just acknowledging receipt. I see that part missing, and therefore if they say they never received it, we can actually assume that you actually forged the documents for you to come to court if it ends up. So always very important to have a section down there they're actually receiving, just acknowledging receipt. And if they refuse, you can actually send it on email or something, but at least be able to show that the documents were speaking to each other and you actually shared. I also see a lot of gaps in how the communication is done. If you look at some of the things that people go to court, you see where the employers are missing. You see they have done so many things, but then one step is missing. And we must always remember the burden of proof is on you as the employer. If the employee says they were not consulted, they were not paid ABCD, and you can't prove that they were actually paid, then there's not. So documentation is so important.
Yes.
It's also so you cannot even so keep saying our policy says ABCD, and you have no policy that says that, or it's saying different things.
Exactly.
So that, and of course the certificate of service.
Yes.
So it's a legal requirement
Yes.
that every person must be given a certificate of service that says this is it. The final dues computation, a payslip that just shows what have we paid you for.
Yes.
It is this and this and this and this. Very, very, very important. And of course, then they clear any support that you give. All those things must be documented. And sometimes people mix in the documentation. I've seen whereby it's a redundancy, but then somehow we are now introducing performance issues. So you have minutes that have different agendas that actually complicate your documents a lot. So you could be, maybe the employee is difficult and they're being taken through redundancy legal in a proper way with the rest of the employees, but then in the conversations you keep bringing the other issues that are not supposed to be featuring this documentation. So all those are things that, and I keep saying, you're not the only one who is using a lawyer as an employer. Even the employees have style and other lawyers.
Yes.
So very important to know that it's a very informed generation that we're living in.
Yeah.
Do the right thing and document it.
Even payment of cash, payment in cash. You cannot pay in cash, and the employee can actually say that they were
You
not
were never
paid.
yeah.
You must ensure that there is a way that we can track that this person actually received that benefit. So whether you pay them by use of a check, whether you pay using an EFT, you must demonstrate that payment was actually done, and they have signed as regards, these are the dues that I am to receive or have received. So it's very important to have that. And I like that you have stated that during the consultative period, please, and this applies actually to all sorts of communication. It's just that in redundancy, it's called consultation. In other termination issues, consultancy is the disciplinary hearing. Yes. Stick to what took you there.
Exactly. Don't bring other shenanigans.
Yes.
Other reasons now that you start, they complicate your life.
And you come late.
Yes.
No, that is not what we are doing with the redundancy. Thank you so much for that particular. That's actually insightful. And part of the reason I enjoyed these conversations with you is because we get to look at beyond the law. What are some of the things that can be contextualized as unfair?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.